Welcome to the Invest In Podcast, the show where we help you learn how to make more money through real estate and other passive investments. We're your hosts, Zach Hoyt and Eric Richner, entrepreneurs, investors, and the guys behind Maverick Asher Capital. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just getting started, buckle up because we're taking you on a journey to help you achieve the lifestyle of your dreams.
Now let's hit the road.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to the Invest In Podcast, where we uncover tons of ways to achieve the life of your dreams. I'm your host, Zach Hoyt, and I have a very special guest with me today I'll tell you about. So if you've been following along my last episodes, you would have heard about Baby Watch that's happening, right? Where we were counting down to our second son's birth. Well, now we're just celebrating because our little baby boy was born. Little Asher, oh my gosh, we're so excited to have you with us. And if you remember, our firstborn's name is Maverick. The second one is Asher. So that leads very well into the namesake of our Maverick Asher Capital, which is what we've named our RV Park Investment Fund. Yay! So just FYI, everyone is healthy, they're happy, they're thriving, and people are getting a little bit more sleep, right? Wrong. We're not getting much sleep, but that's okay. That's life. And we're excited. So that's the segue into my guest today, my amazing wife, Monique. Yay! Not only is Monique just the best gosh darn mom in the world, and wife, by the way, in the world, amazing. She's a phenomenal energy healer. I don't know if you guys know what that is. I sure didn't when I was dating her. I always like to joke it was a year in before I really had any clue what she was doing. I would just nod my head and say, that sounds really, really smart and interesting, but you're pretty and I want to hang out with you. And so here we are. I now know what she does. And so I'm real excited to share that with you. And so I'll let her explain really what that means in her own words. But just for me in general, it means that she can unlock greatness within all of us, unlock that greatness, right? And perhaps that's been blocked in your past by either some fears, limiting beliefs, little self-talk, some previous things from your past. But Monique, please introduce yourself to everyone and help everyone understand what I didn't know for the first year.
Thank you, honey. Hi, my name is Monique. And yes, I am Zach's wife and Maverick and Asher's mom, and I do energy healing. And energy healing, what I do, it's of a realm of a ton of different practices. But the energy healing that I do is I connect to people's energy fields and I read their energy field. I see where their subconscious blocks are holding them back, or where they have fears that are holding them back, or where they're maybe operating in a space that's out of alignment with their best and highest good in their life. I help them connect to their subconscious mind, and we clear all of the energy in their field so that they can move forward and access the love, the success, the happiness, the joy, the health that they really desire to have. So our energy fields hold all of this information about us. We can all access it. I'm not special. We can all access it. I've just learned how to read people's energy fields so that we can cut through the conscious mind, cut through the blocks, cut through the walls that hold us back. And I help people access those deeper subconscious patterns, that energy that we all have within us, those fears, those limiting beliefs that have been programmed within us, clear those so that they can move forward and have a life that they really love and enjoy and feel good about living and in their bodies. And I do this through relationships, with their body, with their business, with all of the things. And it's wonderful.
Yeah, she's a really special person. I'm really excited to share everything that she is and that energy healing is with the world. Because things she mentioned, gosh, getting everyone love, happiness, and success. Hello, who doesn't want that in the world, right? Like everyone wants that. So I'm sure you want that too as you're listening. So this episode is going to be really cool and unique. It's going to be our very specific birth story. So we're going to share that with you because it is different than most people's. And so I want to educate everyone on the possibilities of that. And then we're going to go into why it was unique, why we chose this home birth. So she gave birth in our living room. And this happened to be the second time she did this. So we're veterans at this point. We're extremely experienced. And then specifically, we're going to tie it all back to how it relates to being successful in real estate, investing, and life. Boom. That's going to be a great one, right? So, all right, let's get into this whole birth story. And why don't more people do this? Why don't they do home births? Why don't they do natural births, water births, things like that? And I'm going to answer from myself, and I'll let you answer, Monique, first. Is for one, for me, I don't think people have a darn clue about it. They just don't know about this possibility. Myself, I learned what it was going to be like to help my wife out. Obviously, I'm not giving birth, but I'm going to play that supporting role in as many ways as possible. But I learned what to do based on TV. TV and movies and what has been shown to me in the past. So it's like, all right, for me, it's like, let's get our go bag. Let's make sure that we're ready to go. We know what hospital we're going to, that everything is cleared out of the way. We always got gas in the vehicle, and we can just up and go in a minute's notice, right? And be ready to present calm to her and do whatever is needed. But then that I could hand off all of the responsibilities to the medical professionals, because I'm going to trust them that they know to do the best thing in the world for my wife. Little did I know that is absolutely wrong. And I'm going to bust that all out because they're not really doing what's best for my wife, for the little one. They might be trying from what they know, but we're going to uncover some things that are just complete mind changers, game changers, and hopefully mind changers with giving birth at home and then life. So yeah, what is it for you? Like why do you think more people don't do this?
Yeah, well, I think that you hit a really good point, babe, when you said most of what you know, you've learned from TV. And people, I would argue that that's what a lot of people know, is that is what they've seen on TV. At least that's what we remember, because what happens on TV, we typically see birth in a very intense setting. It's always an emergency, right? And what energy surrounds an emergency? Fear. So
Anxiety,
why,
fear.
yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't people do most things in their life out of fear, whether that's fear of the unknown or fear of what you think you know, and or any of the in between? It basically boils down to that. And I think people, they see birth as this huge, it's a huge life event, right? But there's so many unknowns laced into it because we aren't empowered with the information about our body, being a woman. And men are, or partners in general, if it's a man or a woman, they aren't empowered with the information surrounding birth and the human body and just the ways that we're meant to do this, right? My body was literally created to birth humans into this world.
Heck yeah.
And
Not mine.
so I think that there's just a lot of fear surrounding birth and labor in general. And you have to blast past that fear. You have to dig into the fear, because there's just, it's almost like there's this gatekeeping around birth and labor, because we're almost, it's just, that's our only option. You go to the hospital. You go to the hospital, you get an epidural, and hopefully things go well. But if not, hey, you can get a C-section. And that's great. My mom had a C-section with me and my sister, but that's not what I wanted. At one point in time, I did. I'm like, just take me to the hospital, give me an epidural. I don't want to feel anything. But over the
knock me out.
15
Don't let
years,
me remember anything. Take care of everything.
Yeah.
Get this alien out of me. I mean, this is coming from a guy a little bit more, but
But
yeah.
As I have grown and progressed and gone through my own healing journey, I really saw birth and labor as a portal into this new part of my life, this new chapter of my life. And I didn't want to enter that chapter under any influence other than me being connected with my body and the baby. And I wanted to give the baby just everything that I possibly could to set them up for success in
I love
the
that.
world in their first few days, few hours, few weeks of life. Because again, what we don't know is that the epidural affects the baby for up to a month. And I wanted to be able to move. I hate being told what to do. I did not want to be in a hospital where there are a lot of rules and regulations and restrictions around what you're supposed to do. So yeah, so I just think that it takes us making an empowered choice in order to want to have a home birth. It's not for everyone. There's no right or wrong way to do it. But there are ways that serve you at different times in your life and serve your family at different times in your family's journey. And for us, it was having a home birth at this time.
Yeah.
And there's so many benefits to that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So can we please like rattle off some of these benefits? You've said some of them already, so I'll repeat some of them. Like the epidural, you said affects the baby so it's given to the mom so that she can't feel things, but it'll affect the baby into the future.
Yeah. So just to paint a little quick picture of our birth experience, like my water broke in our kitchen in the afternoon after a day of us like meal prepping, because we knew I was going to go into labor very, very soon, getting some things done around the house, taking Maverick to his first Easter egg hunt. I had contractions all day. So just being home, I was able to be in a comfortable setting, be in a comfortable environment. We didn't feel rushed or anything. We didn't have to like prep anything. We had some stuff prepared in case there was an emergency, but we didn't really have to prep anything. We just got to have a relaxed day. My water broke in the kitchen. Then you started filling up the tub, and the best thing that was for me is being able to move around the house, because in a hospital, some hospitals, some are getting better, but a lot of hospitals, they restrain you to the bed. They really don't like women moving around because they're taught to deliver babies one way when a woman is on her back most of the time. This is starting to change, but it's a very slow change. And that's not good for the woman. It's not the ideal position for the baby to be born. Our bodies will naturally fall into different positions as the baby moves through the pelvic girdle and just is shifting itself into different positions. And the positions that we're in support the baby in doing that. And that's not necessarily an option at the hospital. Another thing is the environment that you're in. Energetically, all of this empty space is anything but empty. It's all information. And the beliefs of the people around you about you impact you in any given state. And
That's
so when
huge.
you're in a very vulnerable state, then the beliefs around the beliefs of the people around you are impacting you. So you better believe that the only people in that room that I wanted are people that ultimately believed 100% that I was capable of doing this. And of course, you and my sister are the two people that saw me do it before. So that's who was there. And I don't think people really understand that. And this is not just with birth. This is with business. This is with friendships. This is with love. This is with anything that you are striving for. The people in your circle, the people that you surround yourself with, the people that are in rooms with you, their beliefs about you are impacting you, because we're constantly exchanging energy. And a lot of us are exchanging energy unconsciously, and we don't even realize it. So we don't know how to disconnect from it if it's not serving us. And a lot of people go into hospital settings, they don't know what's happening. They don't know that the doctors might be in a rush, and they don't really care if this woman delivers vaginally or not, because they can just do a C-section. Or the nurses might be in like a state of like panic or fear if something happens or goes wrong. I wanted people that were very calm, that knew what they were doing. Our midwife is the longest practicing midwife in the state. She's seen it all. And so,
over 3,000 births she's been at.
And so there's so many benefits for the mother. So having people, you can choose who's in the room around you. You can choose to move around. You can choose the positions that your body's naturally wanting to go in. It can be a more intuitive experience. It is so empowering to give birth unmedicated in your living room or wherever you choose to, just like it's so empowering to build a business on your own. It's so empowering to have this, to say, I did this. I did this. Yes, I got the support that I needed, but ultimately I did this. So empowering. And then for the baby to not be medicated when it comes out, because anything that you intake is going straight into the baby. And then the eye drops that they give the baby, they blind the baby. The baby has
At the
perfect
hospital.
eyesight. Yes.
Normally at the hospital, they'll give them eye drops to...
They give eye drops. They're like antibacterial eye drops. For some reason, they think that it's necessary to give them.
Perfect.
As they move through the vaginal canal in case they come in contact with any bacteria, even though your body clears out all like any excess fluids that may contain any harmful bacteria. So I don't understand that. But yeah, the eye drops at the hospital actually blind the baby, and the babies come out with perfect eyesight for up to 8 to 12 inches away, which is perfect for them to see mother, right? And that epidural kind of like puts them in like a drunken like state. So it's harder for them to latch. It's harder for them to find the nipple. It's harder for them to hold their head up. Asher is 2 weeks old and he can hold his head up. Maverick was the same way. And neither of them had epidurals. And then I used to be on the other end. I know this can be a hot topic. Now I am on I have a different viewpoint when it comes to any type of shot. But I don't want my kids having shots in their first hours of life. And I know that at the hospitals, they are encouraged to encourage shots because that's what they learn. That's what they learn. And again, they think that they're helping people, but from the information that I have done, again, I have my master's degree in public health. I know how to do research. I know how to do I know how to look for information. From what Brenda, our midwife, has told us, it didn't align with us. It did not align with us. And I was grateful because to have a home birth, like we needed to rewind a little bit. And like, you were always on board with me. You were always on board when I told you, like, we're having these babies at home.
Heck
Even
yeah.
if you were scared at one point. I don't know if you were scared or not, but you always believed in my ability to do it. And I think that even having you as a partner, you to support me through this, we wouldn't have been able to do this so effortlessly had you not been that supportive figure. And that goes back to just knowing who is in your circle, who is supporting you, who can you rely on.
Yeah, that's all huge, and I appreciate that. And of course, I had some fears. I mean, the first time going through with Maverick, I didn't know what to expect, but of course, I'm going to support you. I'm very supportive of people in my life and people around me, but definitely you, babe. I mean, extremely supportive. And hey, if you want to go this, what I'm going to say is crazy route of pushing out a baby in our living room, hey, I'm game because you're a smart cookie, a delicious smart cookie. And you've done your research though. And everything is so compelling that you've said where, you go to the hospital, you'll be in stress, all of that. You can't have ice chips. You're thirsty. You can just drink something at home. Big deal.
Another thing is in the hospital, they don't want you to eat in case you need to have surgery. Whereas it's always leading with fear. Again, what is the energy behind this? It's always fear. And one thing that I've always told Zach is energy before action. Energy precedes action. Whatever action you take. I love that. Yes. And whatever action you take, it's the energy that it's infused with dictates the outcome. So at the hospital, everything is fear first because they're always like looking to cover their ass. They're always looking to prepare for the worst, right? I didn't want that. I wanted energy of love, of like faith, of encouragement, and of safety. And that's what I got at home. Even though, it was harder. There was a time like right before you start pushing, it's called the transition period. And it is literally, it's when your cervix is dilating from like 7 to 8 centimeters up to 10 centimeters. And it is the most intense sensation I think a human can ever feel. and it was so hard because for both of my births of my boys, I was in the transition phase for hours. And the average time is like 90 minutes to 2 hours. And I was in them for like 4 to 5 hours because my pelvic floor it was having a hard time relaxing because of all of the contractions. And this is the thing, like the environment that you're in, it will dictate your ability to relax. At a hospital, if you're in a stressful experience with all those bright lights, are you going to be able to relax as easy as if you're at home with one lamp on and playing music of your choice, being able to eat or drink if you needed to refuel, because it's literally the most intense experience anyone will ever have. And you're able to do that at home. And so being in transition period, you really start to question yourself. So you really have to have that strong sense of self-belief. And
huge.
If they're is fear, or if there are people that aren't believing in you, it's going to be really, really hard to embody that. And then once you get past that, then you start pushing, and it's very intense and a completely other different sense of the word. But it is the most empowering feeling when you see your baby for the first time. And I think that just that alone is the empowerment that I felt and any woman can feel from this should be enough to convince any woman. But I know that it won't, and that's totally fine. But yeah, it's just so empowering. And if you've ever built something for yourself, a business, or had some type of success in any way, you would know how empowering that feels. And just multiply that by 1,000 when you talk about bringing a kid into the world.
Yeah, 1,000. And picture this. So, I mean, we've got our living room here. She can feel contractions are happening. She calls the midwives and lets them know. And so I get everything ready with this. The pool's already been inflated. It's in the living room. It's on some pads. It's inflated on the bottom and the sides. Some moving blankets underneath it, a tarp over that to make sure that any water that spills out doesn't get everywhere. We got some extra towels. We got some seating around. The first time around, she had some affirmations on some posters. She's playing a music playlist that she controls. We've got the lights that she controls so she can have whatever that she wants. She knows little snacks that she'll like to have. Super comfortable. Fast forward through this whole thing. The midwives come over. She's getting closer. The water broke and everything, getting into the pool. And then going through, like she was saying, all that transition, all that period. And now we've got the little Maverick who's a year and a half, who's wondering, why is mommy making all these noises that's going on, these unfortunately painful sounding noises? And he is extremely tuned in to her. But the whole couple weeks previous to this, we started playing some videos for little Maverick to let him know, it's like, hey, this is what mommy's gonna sound like and do, and to make it so that, like, can you make the sound like mommy makes? And he'll be like, and going through and making all the different noises. And we were teaching him animals at the same time too. So unfortunately, I don't think Monique was so excited that the closest animal related was
I did sound
cow.
like a cow. I was mooing.
You were mooing.
I was mooing. I was, rather than like a lion, like I sounded with his birth, where I was just roaring, guttural, very primal noises. This birth, I intentionally chose to do more of like a low groan grunting moo cow, like a cow sound. And so Maverick was spot on and very familiar because he loves cows.
So she's making these noises. These things are happening. Things are progressing along. It turns out that I think she was waiting for Maverick to go to sleep until she actually gave birth to everything, and went through that final phase. But the beautiful thing is that she got to that phase. She's giving birth right in the pool. And midwives are there. Everyone is all looking and checking and making sure everything right. The baby comes out. Right. It's wonderful. Maverick happened to wake up intuitively, I think, right beforehand. So I was checking on him, got him, came downstairs, and he's watching as his mom, my wife here, is giving birth. It's amazing. And instead of him being afraid in those moments, like he was, and worried and trying to pat on Monique's head, instead of doing that, he was calm and he was very curious and he was just waiting for it to happen. We were all waiting and watching. But Monique gave birth. It was wonderful. She could go and pick up her baby and put it right on her chest right away. And then little Asher takes his first breaths and his first cry. And then normally in the hospital, that's where they will, cut the cord, move things along, give the kid a vitamin K shot because they didn't let the placenta get the rest of the blood into the baby. So there's issues with clotting, where here the placenta actually is given birth, is birthed just like a baby, but about half an hour later. So it's waiting. You're actually waiting for all that blood and nutrients and everything delicious to go back into little baby Asher. And just like an octopus, that cord will turn white when it's done. So it tells you exactly what to do. And so then I'm given the awesome task of chop, 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 cut that cord right in the middle. And then I get to pop my shirt off and take baby Asher and put him chest to chest to me, where in the hospital they might charge you 10 grand for something like that. I've heard people complain about that before. It's ridiculous,
and
right?
And you do chest to chest while I birth the placenta.
Yeah.
And then baby comes back to me and we do skin to skin for the rest of the night.
Yeah. And then, fast forward them cleaning up all the tub and everything. And it's almost like bada bing, bada boom. You never knew that they were there a couple hours later. Yeah. And we are just sitting in our living room on a pull-out couch with a new baby. And there is no at the hospital for a few days or anything like that. It is instant, right away, and glorious.
And everybody is sleeping besides me.
Yeah.
But it's nice. So, my adrenaline's going and I'm just enjoying the quietness.
Yeah, for sure. So it's beautiful that way, right? So I would implore more people, not necessarily to do it. Again, like Monique said, do whatever feels comfortable to you, feels right to you, but at least explore it as an option. Because again, I had no clue about this possibility. A lot of people have no clue about this possibility, or they are feared into thinking that it is the wrong way, the worst way.
And it's not the dangerous way, actually, because the United States has the highest rate of maternal mortality in the industrialized nation, which is insane. And that's through the hospitals. That's data taken through the hospitals. And so it's insane. And our bodies know how to do this. Like, we intuitively know how to do this. Baby knows how to be born. Body knows how to birth baby. I wish that more women and their partners would attempt to take this route. But with all of that being said, babe, how does this relate to investing?
Yo, doesn't everyone want to talk about investing and RV parks and mindset? So, I mean, this is mindset. And that's the thing that I always like to hit with everything, is that everything we do is mindset. And our mindset and the energy surrounding that translates into everything we do. It's very circular in that way. So, yeah, the important thing with this is just you got to factor in a lot of self-belief, right, into every single thing you do. And I've mentioned that before on my solo podcast, episode 2, when I was talking about my rock bottom, a couple things, whether you think you can or can't in life, you're right. And so it all starts with that self-belief. And basically, be willing to do something different that people are going to criticize you for, or at least be a commentary on. And, people thought I was crazy for running as much as I was running to run a marathon. And that's great. That actually fuels me. I love when people push things like that. But at the same time, surround yourself with people that support you. That support everything that you're doing, and they're the right type of support too, right? You need some people that are encouraging, that have that good positive energy, that don't bring you down in life. It's super, super amazing when you have all that stacking for success. How would you relate it to investing?
Yeah, so just like I was saying with the transition period right before you give birth, it's the most intense time period. It's a time period where you really know personally that you're entering the transition period, because you start questioning every decision that got you to this moment in time. And you're like, why did I do this? I'm an idiot. How could I think I would be successful in this? I just need to go to the hospital. I can't do this. I'm struggling. I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. I need help. So you can definitely give in to those beliefs, but you can also choose to double down on your self-belief. And if you do that, then obviously that leads to pushing. This is the same thing with any type of entrepreneurial endeavor or investing, is right before there's some type of success, or you're going to have hardship, right? There will be hardship inevitably in your journey. And you can get so down on yourself. You can let it define you. You can let it make it mean that you shouldn't have done this, that this is wrong, that you should have just listened to your mom or your dad or whatever. Because again, when I chose to have home birth, I wasn't met with support at first. I was met with criticism and warnings as to why it's the wrong choice, how dangerous it is. And how many of us, when we choose to go an alternative route, we're met with warnings instead of people cheering for us, saying, yeah, go for it. You have to have that belief in yourself, because when you have those hard times that you will have, you have to either double down and let that energetic momentum pull you forward, or you're going to fold. And if you fold, what was it even for? What was it even for? If you can't make it through the hardships, why are you even doing this? Right? Because the hardships will occur. With that self-belief, regardless of what other people are saying, regardless of the doubts that come into your mind, it will carry you forward. The energy of self-belief is one of the strongest energies that anybody can embody. And if you can believe in yourself, undoubtedly you will get what you want. But you have to have that self-belief. And you have to have those people in your corners, in your circle, cheering for you. So take an inventory of the people in the rooms with you. Man. Do they actually believe in you? How do you feel about them? Because that's impacting you and them as well. Absolutely. Is it their best and highest good that they're in your room? And then you have to get really honest with yourself, because sometimes it's really hard to do this. And out of convenience, we want to keep people around. Like at a hospital, it's convenient to have the nurses and the doctors in there, even if they're the ones pressuring us and making us feel uncomfortable, right? Even if they don't really fully believe in us because they barely know us, right? So, but at home, I got to pick and choose who I wanted in the room. So who are you picking and choosing who you want in your rooms with you? Because yes, there is that quote that you become the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And that's because we literally exchange energy with every single person in our space. Every single person in our space we're exchanging energy with. So the more energy you're exchanging with someone, the more you're becoming like them. So you have to ask yourself, does this person really support me? Do they really want what's best for me? Do I want what's best for them? Do I really support them? Do I feel like we get along in a way that's in alignment with my highest good, with where I'm going, not with where I'm at? Because with where I'm at is an accumulation of the past, and where I'm going has nothing to do with the past and has everything to do with the present moment and forward. So you really, really, really have to get clear on this and ask if you are surrounded by the right people. And if not, change the room that you're in. Like we went home, we stayed home. We didn't want to be at a hospital because we didn't want to be in that type of room. Right?
Heck yeah.
And then, yeah. And then I just want to say one more thing about like when I was stuck in that period of right before I was pushing, I was praying, begging anyone who was listening for me to begin pushing, because I was so utterly exhausted. It was way past my bedtime. I was so tired. And I'm like, when is this going to happen? Because in my mind, I had created a predetermined time that this baby was going to come out by. So when that time had passed, which was like 10:50 p.m., when it was past midnight, and I'm like, this baby still isn't here, and I'm barely starting to push, I was like, what's going wrong? Like I started to question, like, what's going wrong? I was so attached to the destination. I was so attached to him being here, even though I knew he'd get here, but I was so attached to him being here that like time was moving in slow motion and I wasn't enjoying the journey anymore. I was getting frustrated at the journey, and I'm like, this just needs to be over right now. So if you find yourself becoming attached to a deal, to an investment, to a property, to whatever it is, to the end game, maybe you're in multifamily and you want to stay in multifamily, or whatever it might be. Maybe you have a fear of switching asset classes. If you're so attached to that, then you will never grow. You have to become in love with the journey. And as you love more of the journey and the steps that you are inevitably going to take towards the destination will morph itself into something even bigger, like it did for you, babe.
Yeah.
Like,
so I want to,
before Maverick was here, you had no idea you'd be in an RV resort and RV parks.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, let's tie that in real quick and we can wrap up, because I was searching for something more. And if you guys went back and listened to some of the episodes, you'd hear about, just to reiterate quickly, I was searching for something more than just money, and multifamily felt like just money. It's more of something, more houses, more units, more this and that. And everyone's always comparing how many units you have, right? And people are doing that in the real estate investing space. And why? Because of ego and because of lots of other things. But Monique has taught me to detach myself, or at least be aware of the power of the ego and how and when to detach yourself from that so that you can succeed. So prior to my firstborn, Maverick, coming out, everything leading up to that, I was in that soul searching journey of what do I want to do? Everyone's in multifamily, blah, 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 this and that. Do I like self-storage? No, that's not fun. I needed something more. It's that hollow Easter egg, that hollow Easter bunny type of analogy where I needed something that creamy filling that's delicious. Multifamily didn't have it. And so it was on that journey that emptiness that I had, and I just sat in that emptiness, knowing that I'd find something eventually, but not knowing where it would be. I was completely detached from the destination, didn't know where the heck it was going to be. And it took, what seemed like a heck of a lot longer than I wanted it to. It was a couple of years, just figuring that out. And it was okay because I was already doing all right in real estate at that time. But it was in that journey that I could pause and I could really reflect, and I knew I was starting to notice, like, I like that a lot. Ooh, I really like the fact that I can go and travel and visit these places around the world. Wow. The occupancy is so low for break-even cash flow, blah, 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 blah. Different things, like different metrics, different measures where it's like, this is lining up. This is awesome. And I would slowly fall in love with RV parks and everything within that. So if I wasn't open to that journey, if I wasn't just in that state of reflection and not in a busy, hurry up, oh my gosh, got to find the next thing, do the next thing, buy another one, do this, get another one, do that. If I wasn't, in that calm, I probably wouldn't have noticed this at all. And this opportunity and everything wouldn't have popped up. So it's so important to be able to be in that still zone, and so that you can see opportunities that are around you. Then once you find something, holy smokes, you grab it, you embrace it, and you do whatever the heck you need to make that thing amazing at that point. I mean, and that's why, you came after me and we have this awesome relationship now, right? No, we came after each other. But that's how we found each other. And that's like finding someone. You're so excited at that point that then you're like, okay, let's latch on. Let's not let go. Like, this is the thing that is awesome. And that happened to be RV park investing for me.
Yeah. And just a little fun piece that neither of us were each other's types. So if we were attached to that destination, we would have never found each other, but that's a story for a different day.
That's a whole other different story we can relate to. Or come to one of our retreats at Hidden Beach RV Resort in North Carolina, the most technologically advanced RV destination in the world. And we'll have an energetic alignment retreat where we'll help you out as couples and things. And there's going to be lots of awesome retreats that we have there. So anyway, awesome. Great stuff, everyone, right? I really hope you enjoyed this one. This is obviously something that's very near and dear to me, our second little boy being born. Thank you so much, babe, Monique, my Monique babe, for coming on and sharing all this with us. Just to give you guys a quick recap. So our baby Asher is born. Maverick Asher Capital is literally alive at this point. Believe in yourselves. Believe in yourselves and surround yourself with supporting people so that you can have success in everything that you want to do. It's super important. Trust that outcome while you just focus on the journey. You trust that the outcome will happen, in her case, giving birth, but just focus on the journey and enjoy the journey. Like, don't put off the enjoyment till the end. Otherwise, you'll never actually be happy. Just enjoy every freaking day in life. And Monique ended up mentioning energy before action. We'll probably end up having a whole other episode about that, because that's a super powerful mantra that I've adopted, and there's some fun stories around that. But hey, if any of these topics interest you and you want to learn more, stay in touch. Take a look in the show notes below to become an official Invest In Insider and continue your journey with us. And if you want to chat with me directly about investments, potentially being a part of the Disneyland of RV parks that I've mentioned before, there should be a link in the show notes where you can schedule a one-on-one call with me and Maverick Asher Capital. And good golly, make sure to join us next time for more ways to invest in your mind, your life, and your bank account. Be well, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Invest In podcast. We hope you gained valuable insights to fuel your investment journey.
If you found this episode helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Your support helps us bring more insider knowledge from the top real estate and investment minds.
And if you're ready to take your investments to the next level, follow us on social media at Go Invest In on Instagram, LinkedIn, X, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and everywhere for more expert tips, behind-the-scenes content, and exclusive updates.
Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, keep investing, keep building, and we'll see you on the road.